All right, welcome to the Parks and Recreation Advisory Committee meeting for May 29th, 2024 at 6 p.m. We're going to do a call to order, and then we'll go do roll call. And so, committee members, if you want to state your name into the microphone for the record.
I am Sammy Martinez.
Hi, I'm Karina Roma.
Hello, I'm Alex Rodriguez.
We have Seabree Dillard and Sarah Malo absent at this time. At this time, moving on to the agenda. Agenda changes. We currently do not have any changes to the agenda. Then number 4, conflict of interest. If any committee member or staff who has a direct conflict of interest on any scheduled agenda item to be considered is to declare their conflict this time. So if there's anything on the agenda that you guys notice that may be a conflict of interest, this would be time to state it. If not, we'll move forward. At this time, we don't see any conflict of interest. Next on the agenda is public comments. At this time, members of the public may comment on any item not appearing on the agenda and within the subject matter jurisdiction of the Parks and Recreation Advisory Committee. Individual comments will be limited to a maximum of 3 minutes, or as stated by the presiding officer, and time cannot be yielded to another person. Under state law, matters presented during the public comment period cannot be discussed or acted upon. Norma, do we have anyone on Zoom? Perfect. Seeing no one here in attendance, we will close the public comment period. Next on the agenda is presentations. This is for informational only, and so I'll kind of steer the ship here for this meeting. With this item, we're gonna do some onboarding. Since you guys are new committee members, we want to make sure that you know the reason why you're here. Know there's a purpose to why you're here. And so we don't want to be here to waste your guys' time. So this meeting essentially is just building that foundation, the infrastructure, so you guys are aware of what you're getting yourselves into more. So in the packets we've given you, we'll go over committee onboarding. We will go over the bylaws, which is this 2-page here. So we'll read over them. And if you have any questions, I'll see you save them to the end. So second here. Okay. So this is the Parks and Recreation Advisory Committee. The purpose is established to advise and provide recommendations to the Parks and Recreation Department and City Council on matters pertaining to the development, maintenance, and improvement of parks and recreation facilities, programs, events, and activities, as delegated by the City Council in accordance with Ordinance 32.01A of the Riverbank Municipal Code. Other purposes include providing recommendations of policies and budget related to parks and recreation in the city of Riverbank. The authority will be operating. The authority was granted by the City Council of Riverbank, as you guys were appointed by the City Council to be as part of this committee. Meetings shall be held regularly, monthly, or as often as necessary. Additional meetings may be called by the chairperson or upon request of 3 members in accordance to the municipal code. So with this committee, you guys will be helping the Parks and Recreation Department with providing input and feedback on everything that we do with programs, events, facilities, development, whatever pops up in your mind. As a department, we oversee a ton. We do not only just Parks and Recreation, we oversee downtown, we oversee building upkeep of city-owned facilities. So we have a wide umbrella here. And so there's gonna be a lot of things that we talk about that you may think, what does this have to do with my park next to my house? There's a lot that we do. With this committee meeting, committee, the idea is you guys are providing ideas, opinions, and recommendations. Again, the City Council, if there's anything with policy change or things that need to be implemented, the City Council has the ultimate say. But what this group does, it gives us a community input, feedback from the residents that say, hey, as a group, as a committee, this is what we recommend. It makes our case for what we want to do stronger, as we want to make sure we're community driven with our decisions as a Parks and Recreation Department. The composition of the group is 5 members. We have that were appointed by the mayor and approved by the City Council. That was done a few weeks back. Qualifications: must live within city limits. diversity. We want to make sure we have a diverse group of residents. That is a broad statement of we want to make sure we're diverse in where you're from geographically here in the city limits, age, race, everything we took into consideration to make sure that we have a well-represented group that represents our community. Compensation, this is a volunteer position, unfortunately. Sorry, I got dragged into a non-paid position here. The appointments were made by City Council. We're going to talk about the staggering terms that we talked about. So, as mentioned when we talked about in our interviews, these are 3-year terms. However, we want to make them staggered. So, after 3 years, if all 5 of you decided to leave, we don't want to go back to square one of we don't have a committee. We want to make sure they're staggered so that way every year 1 or 2 of you are have the opportunity to extend or depart from the group or from the committee. That way, if 2 members at one time decide to leave, we still have enough to do a quorum and host these meetings and continue onward. And so today, as we go later on, we'll establish staggering terms at random draw. Removal, members may be removed from the office at any time with or without cause by a majority vote of the City Council. So again, the City Council makes the vote from there. Term length shall be 3 years with the term. You are able to renew as well if it's at your choosing. We do this so that way we don't want to make you guys feel like you're forever enslaved to this committee. We want to make sure you guys have an opportunity to get out, but also as well keep that breath of fresh air if we decide something needs to be done. Vacancy shall be filled as outlined in Code 32.05 of the Riverbank Municipal Code. Scheduled vacancies shall be filled through a recruitment process conducted within 20 days after the vacancy occurs, while unscheduled vacancies shall be filled by the mayor with the approval of City Council or through a recruitment process if no alternative member exists. Rules and procedures. A chairperson. The Parks and Recreation Advisory Committee shall elect a chairperson and vice chairperson from among its members to serve for a term of 1 year as outlined in the bylaws adopted by City Council. So for future meetings, I will unfortunately be the one not leading them. We want to make sure, again, this is a community-ran group. So one of the 5 community members will be president or the chairperson that will lead the meetings essentially. That is kind of the main role of this position. Then a vice chair, if the chair is not available, the vice chair can then lead the meetings. That is a 1-year thing, so once your 1 year is up, you're kind of back down to a normal committee member. That way we can get other members in the committee opportunities to kind of hold the reins here. A quorum shall consist of 3 members of the total membership. As we see here, we have 3 here. If one of you weren't here, we only had 2, we would not have enough to do a quorum and would have to postpone the meeting. Decision making. Decisions shall be made by a majority vote of members present and voting, except where otherwise specified by the Parks and Recreation Advisory Committee's adopted bylaws, which must comply with the City of Riverbank Municipal Code. So all these bylaws do not conflict with the municipal code. That'd be a little odd if we create something that the city creates something that conflicts with itself. Meetings, they are noticed, so they are open to the public. These meetings were noticed no later than 3 days prior to this meeting. Notice of special meeting shall be provided to members at least 3 days in advance, except in case of emergencies. So we do take care of the notices as part of the department. We do publish them online at City Hall and in other locations available to the public. Again, these are open to the public, so we want to be as transparent as possible and as efficient as we can. Agendas, they shall be prepared and distributed to members prior to each meeting. I think about maybe a little less than a week ago, I just texted you guys with the agenda with information there. Members may request items to be included on the agenda. So if there's items that you guys would like to discuss as a committee prior to the meetings, let me know. We can get them on the agenda and get those talked about. And then since we are a public group, we are subject to the Ralph Brown Act, which means we shall comply with all the things that are in the act. So that means we're transparent, we're open to public meetings. Decisions cannot be done and made or voted on in private. And there'll be a training from there that I'm going to get from staff to kind of pass on along to you guys. Staff support. Again, we're always here as Parks and Recreation Department here to help you guys out with anything you guys have going on. And then as far as the secretary for this committee, I will serve as that. So with each of these open meetings, there needs to be minutes. I will take care of that. And so at the next meeting, we'll have approval vote to approve the minutes that we'll distribute then and make any corrections there that you guys may see fit. Conflict of interest. Members shall disclose any potential conflicts of interest related to matters under consideration by the Parks and Recreation Advisory Committee. In their recusal, members with a conflict of interest shall recuse themselves from discussion and voting on the relevant matters. Again, this should not happen a whole lot. Again, we're looking for recommendation, opinions, and ideas. Stuff like this may be if it's involved with the park right next to your house and you're saying we need for this particular park, we need to have a noise ordinance that needs to be, everything needs to be shut down by 6 p.m. That may be something that we need to be recusal of or disclosed of conflict of interest. But a lot of these things may not fall in those lines. And then worst case scenario, if the city council decides we need to dissolve the committee, they have the authority to do so. And if there's any assets that we get, let's see here. In the event of dissolution, any remaining assets shall be transferred as specified by city council resolution. These are the bylaws, and amendments to the bylaws may be made with a majority vote of members present and voting as at a city council regular meeting, provided that notices proposed amendments has been given in compliance. So if we want to add to these bylaws, change them, anything we want to do at any time, we are more than happy to do so. It needs to be through city council though. So any recommendations you guys may have to these, we can present that to the Parks and Recreation Advisory Committee for approval for majority vote, and then from there to take on to city council for their recommendations. Any questions? I know that was kind of a mouthful there and kind of boring, but it's kind of like when you start your job on a first day, it's the worst day. Just a lot of paperwork and a lot of reading and going over stuff. But any questions, comments, concerns, jokes, rumors, anything? No? Okay. We'll go to the second page. It's just front and back here. It's titled the onboarding document. Here is a little bit of letter that we drafted up for as committee members, and I'll read it out loud. Welcome to the Parks and Recreation Advisory Committee. We are thrilled to have you join our team of dedicated individuals committed to enhancing parks and recreational opportunities in the city of Riverbank. This onboarding document is designed to provide you with essential information to help you integrate smoothly into your role and make valuable contributions to our committee. The Parks and Recreation Advisory Committee is a vital advisory body responsible for providing guidance and recommendations to the city of Riverbank on matters related to parks and recreational facilities, programs, events, and activities within our community. As a PRAC member, you play a crucial role in shaping policies, initiatives, and decisions and directly impact the quality of life of our residents. So your key responsibilities: attend meetings. Meetings are typically held once a month. In our agenda, we will talk about setting a specific date each month to where we can meet, whether it be every last Wednesday of the month or every, so-and-so day. We'll discuss that works best for the committee members. Your regular attendance and active participation in these meetings are essential to contributing effectively to the committee's discussion and decision-making process. We'll ask you to review materials. Prior to the meetings, you'll receive agendas, minutes, and any relevant documents. Please review these materials thoroughly to prepare for discussions and provide informed input. Usually in each meeting, I will provide a director's report. That is probably the bare minimum if there's nothing to talk about. And it's just updates on what's going on here. This director's report was done an hour ago, so that's why you guys haven't seen it yet. So that's my bad there. But for future meetings, you will see director's report in advance to review, as well as other reports that we're going to be talking about if there's any items that need to be discussed and voted on with staff recommendations and opinions there. Advise and recommend. Utilize your expertise, insights, and community perspectives to advise on park development, maintenance, programming, and other related matters. Your recommendations will help guide the city in making informed decisions, and engage with the community. Act as a liaison between the PRAC and the community, gathering feedback, suggestions, concerns from residents regarding parks and recreation activities. Your own role involves advocating for the community's needs and interest. One thing I mentioned in probably multiple of the interviews with you guys was Residents don't typically come to the Parks and Recreation Department or call us or get a hold of us when they have questions. They usually go everywhere else they can find. And so we hope that if your neighbor comes to you or you see something on social media post, hopefully these meetings can get you informed enough to where you can answer and help do things that we aren't capable of seeing or doing ourselves. Committee structure, which we've talked about, is 5 members. They operate under established bylaws and guidelines emphasizing collaboration, transparency, and accountability in all endeavors. Resources and support. CD liaison, you'll have access to designated city staff to help answer questions, facilitate communication between the committee and city administration. Training and development, opportunities for training, workshops, educational sessions may be available to enhance your understanding of parks and recreation management, community engagement, and relevant policies. I'm not sure how they do it here in California, but in Utah, they have a Utah Recreation Parks Association where they offered free trainings and kind of conferences for volunteers and committee members to learn more about parks and recreation. Again, where these are all not required, so don't feel like you have to block out your work calendar to attend a conference in Southern California for these kinds of things. But we'll make sure to let you know the opportunities are available like that. Again, if you are interested, we think that providing more of a or more knowledge into kind of like why we do what we do could be beneficial in making decisions. And then documentation. All pertinent documents, including meeting agendas, minutes, and reference materials, will be accessible to your reference and review. In the code of conduct, you are expected to adhere to the code of conduct that promotes professionalism, respect, and integrity. This includes maintaining confidentiality when necessary, treating fellow members and community members with courtesy and respect, and upholding the highest ethical standards in all interactions. So, like I think I mentioned prior to the meeting, Parks and Recreation is sometimes we don't get a lot of people to come and critique, but there might be items that come up for discussion that might be more people are interested in hearing and talking about and getting their opinions on, and some of those items may come with a little more conflict. People may be more passionate about, and so in those moments, we do ask you guys to be professional, keep your cool. Since you were appointed, there is that expectation of when it comes to being emotional, being a higher standard than a normal community member that comes in. So next steps, orientation meeting. This is kind of our orientation meeting here. We'll kind of go over all these things, our mission, goals, and objectives, current projects, which we'll go over in our report, introduction to procedures. We kind of looked over procedures and protocols, guidelines that we look from you guys, engagement plan. And it's something I want to have you guys consider on your own time. Consider how you can actively engage with the community and contribute to meaningful initiatives with this committee. This is not just a Michael show where I ask for you to do things that I need done. This is you guys running the show here. And so if you have ideas or thoughts on how we can improve as a committee or as a department or as a city, feel free to share your thoughts and your opinions. And if there's something that you're very passionate about, go for it. We don't want to say like we need to get Michael's, Tony's, and all the departments' blessing and the whole city council. I mean, there's a lot of things where if you have an idea, we're more happy to work with you on it and kind of get things helping you roll in there. But yeah, welcome again to the advisory committee. Look forward to working with you guys, and you all have my phone number, which not many people have, so that's awesome. Lucky you guys. Any questions there, concerns, comments from the committee? Nope. Seeing none, we'll go to the next item 6.2, Director's Report. So we do a report for you guys, kind of summarizing a lot of things that we have going on. Since this is our first meeting, we could have created a whole book of everything, but we kind of want to do things by month. It's like, here's what's going on each month that we have going on. So that way we are not here for hours just going over everything we have going on. So we kind of outlined it go over our programs, our events, our facilities, projects we have in the line, and the miscellaneous. And the miscellaneous is kind of the what's to come in the future. And so if you go to your first page, we'll go over programs, kind of some things that we have seen in the first, or say the month of May. Hello, Sarah. Thank you. Sorry I didn't get. Well, we got your text, but we already started, so I didn't want to. No, it's all good. Come on up. So go take a seat where there's papers, and you just missed on all the boring stuff. So we're gonna go read everything again, guys. And no, I'm not kidding. So those forms that are in front of you, we have an agenda, and then you have kind of the bylaws of the committee. If you so in your own time, if you want to review the bylaws, and then we have an onboarding document, kind of like a what to expect. So right now we're on a director's report, which is the fun color looking paper. Okay, and we're just starting that one. So for your information, Sarah, we kind of outline this report into different sections. We go over our programs, our events, our facilities, projects, and then miscellaneous. And so what we do is instead of kind of opening the whole can of worms and spending hours talking about everything we do, we each month we want to talk about what we've done in the past month. So with this meeting, or with this one being the first one, we want to talk about everything since the Parks and Rec Department was created. We're going to talk about what's happened since the month of May, essentially. So on the first page, programs, we do offer a lot of summer camps. Camps will begin June 10th. We have a total of 8 camps, 4 full-day camps and 4 half-day camps. Our full-day camps are filled to capacity. We sold out there, and each one is 30 kids each. So we have about 120 kids signed up for that, ready to go June 10th. Our half-day camps are half full, or roughly half full. Those are about from 9 a.m. to 12 p.m., so 3 hours, and they're usually for our 3 to 5-year-olds. And so our camps, they fill up. As we get closer, parents sign up at the last minute, so we're confident those will fill up. We do have a list of our camps if you were interested what they are. So the full days, we're doing art camp, under the sea, so it's aquatics themed, an outdoor camp, and 4th of July party in the USA. And then half day for the little ones, we do a safari camp, a sports camp, science camp, and a Watch Me Grow where we do kind of some fun activities there. With the aquatics, we do have swim lessons. They begin next Monday. We break out to 5 different sessions, each one being 2 weeks long. Our session 1 is nearly full. We have a parent me class, tiny tot, beginner swim class, advanced. All of them are full except for the advanced ones. So after 2 weeks, we go into session 2, which that one's filling up as well. 3 is filling up. Then once you get towards the back end, they kind of do not fill up because people want to think on summer vacations in July and kind of get stuff in before school begins. Aquafit class, we will be doing that. That starts on Thursdays at the pool, 7:15 and 8:15. It's $5 to drop in. We do have an instructor that we contract with, or she's staff contract with, to where it's a 70-30 split. So she makes 70% of the revenue. We pocket 30 for giving her the space, time, and to do that. And that's typical for all of our contracts. For your information, we do contract out with local residents that have a passion for something, and usually the revenue split is 70-30. We do more depending on how much more work we do. We do less, again, depending on how much work we do. If it's very minimal to nothing we do, we take a lesser cut. But if it's a heavy workload, which we'll talk about in another program, we do require a bigger share of the cut. Recreation swim, so this is open swim for the public, is Mondays through Fridays from 1 p.m. to 3:30 p.m. and then Saturdays from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. The pool will be closed on Fridays for training with our lifeguards, and Sundays will be only for rentals. We have people that want to rent the pool all day long, so we leave that open for them. And then Saturday evenings after 4 p.m. we do also rentals as well. So that's $3 for people to come in. We do sell swim passes for residents to oh, sorry, my bad. Thank you, Sarah. No, it's all good. No, it's all good. So yeah, Monday through Thursday, 1 to 3:30. Fridays are and just training days for us. But yeah, we do offer swimming passes for an individual. It is $30. So to make your money back, you can go to the pool 11 times. And we do offer a family pass, which is for a family of 4, which is $400. So I can't do the math on top of my head, but it's less than 10 times you attend the pool. And then you can do add-ons if you want to have a family of like 9 kids. You can add on to that family pass, and it's $20 per kid after that. There's a lot of feedback there, Norm. Is that me or? Anyway, we do have received questions about scholarships. We do in the past have offered scholarships, but right now we currently do not have funding for that. So right now we are not offering scholarships at this time. Um, we usually get funding through donations from businesses, residents. One of the things that we're looking at doing is when people register for our programming, at the end we'll ask if they want to contribute a $5 donation to the program or toward the scholarship program. And that way we can hopefully start generating that without going to the businesses every day asking for, the same businesses asking for money every day. So it usually goes towards low-income households to offset some of the program costs. So, for example, we have a swim class that's $70. If you have a family of 4 kids and you are low income, that's tough pill to swallow. So usually scholarship funds go to offset a portion of that, subsidize some of it. Um, that's pretty much the big one there is the low-income households. So, so yeah, for summer camps, we've done swim passes in the past. I'm not too keen on that. We want to go towards programming, essentially. Um, just get back to that experience there. Um, so, so yeah, that's kind of what the idea of the scholarships go towards funding. So right now we don't have any funding. The city does have a budget for parks and recreation. We're not too keen on using taxpayer dollars to fund scholarships because that's not the intent of it. And so we're looking to make sure it's donation based. Is that something that we can fix up more with the static in? Does someone have their mic on by chance? It's me normal. When my mic comes on, it does this. Perfect. For other programs, we do a Tot Time program, which is kind of like a daycare that's during the school year. That ends this Thursday. Graduation's tomorrow. We'll pick that back up in August. Teen Center, which is by the community center, that's closed for the summer. Archery is a new program that we're starting up. We That's another contract class we have. We had one person sign up. We're going to be doing another season in June. This one, where there's more work on our end, we are requiring a bigger cut of the revenue. Classes or registration's like $150, right? 150. And then we're working out the amount of days resident or participants get, or sessions, I should say, with the instructor. So with our contract classes, they are more partnership related with our instructors or whoever's involved with it. So that it is subject to change based on what that instructor wants to do or not. So when we have, like, for example, Zumba class, or no, Zumba's a bad idea, like Aquafit class is canceled, it's usually because the instructor is sick, something like that. And it's pretty much out of our hands. So if classes get canceled, it's not okay. Parks and Rec screwed this up. It's something is going on with the instructor in their life. So mainly because school's out. So we keep it open during school session. So when kids after school goes out, they go to the teen center, they play and interact. Um, Once school's out, we don't.
Yeah, also, that's where all of our day camps take place, is at the teen center. Yeah.
Yeah, for those that don't know, this is Tony Lemons. He's our recreation supervisor. So he's been here for 3 years now. So whatever I don't know, he knows everything. So even what I know, he knows more. So Um, and then we are working on more contracts. That's our goal for this year and going in for future years. Is we want to get more community members involved. We know there's a lot of community members that are talented, and so we want them to be able to contract with us to where we can provide a space, resources, and they can do something, make money on something that they're passionate about. Tony might can speak more on this, but one of the things that we've been approached about is hip hop class or a hip hop dance class, something like that, and then a drum circle class. So maybe I'll turn over to Mike. He can talk about a little bit about what those entail.
Sure, yeah. So we've had the hip hop class and the drum circle in the past. And there was a huge interest in the hip hop class. When we had it, it was completely full. We had like a wait list of probably 25 to 30 kids. So we're trying to bring that back. Same kind of instructor that we had before. And then the drum circle, it was here before I started. But from what I heard, it was pretty well attended. So I have a meeting coming up with that potential instructor to try and get that class up and running again.
So one thing you guys may see is, for example, like 5 years ago, there was a class that was done that doesn't happen anymore. It's usually because the instructor moves on or something happens there. If we do have a successful program, successful class, we typically don't cancel it. Um, but usually there's something, again, instructors, they come and go, find other passions, things come up in their lives where it makes it a little bit harder there. But before we go on, any other questions, comments about our programming? Again, that was just a very small gist of what we have going on. Um, we're looking to expand our programming with more of these partnerships. Um, and then we do have some ideas in the works coming up. So, but usually summers are busy time, so we try not to create new things because we're swamped. Usually in the fall slash winter is our kind of our, I mean, we're still busy, but not as busy to where we can create, think of new ideas so when it comes spring and summer come around, we hit the ground running. Um, any comments from committee on the programs, questions? Yes, let's hear it, Alex. So I'll start with the second question. Typically, it is 30/70. That is the market standard. I don't know why, but any parks and recreation facility or organization you go to, that's the standard, or just the, what's it called? The field standard. Um, Again, we could go less, 80/20, 85/15. It all depends on how much work and burdens on us. So again, going with archery, um, we do ask for a bigger cut because the city invested in the equipment itself. Usually, the instructor, we ask them to provide their own equipment. They provide their expertise. We provide the facility, the insurances, the utilities for the facility. Those overhead costs that, if someone's trying to make money off, they don't have to bear the cost of. But it saves us money because we're not hiring instructors and staff to come in and do it. Um, so it's kind of, we offload some of the risk of, again, purchasing the equipment usually. Um, but with Archer, we purchase the equipment ourselves. And so we do take a bigger cut because we took on more of that financial risk there. Also depends on staff time. Some instructors, they just come and go, and they do their thing. Some instructors aren't physically capable of doing setup, and so we have to provide our staff, and so we have to offset their staff time. And so it all depends on what the instructor or the contractor wants to do. So it just fluctuates from there. Um, we have done class or contracts where they want to do zero marketing and they want us to do it all, create flyers, advertise. Um, Usually our instructors, they take care of their own payments on site. So there's like, hey, we want you guys to use your software and take care of all the payments, do all the reconciliations, do all that work. So it all depends on what the contractor wants to do and what they're comfortable with. Mm-hmm. Yep. So again, the idea is to offload as much risk as we can, but also we're limited on staffing to where we can't just hire every single person there is. A lot of these programs, since they're so new, they kind of like a business. It takes a couple years before you start generating a profit. Um, so with us, we don't want to start doing this and then after 3 or 4 years, maybe it was a bad idea and now we're out taxpayer dollars. So hopefully this offloads a lot of the risk for us, but we still generate some revenue to offset some of our costs. Like I said, utilities to use the building, the lights, the water. Um, we try not to have empty buildings or empty facilities, so it's nice to have something in there. And if something can be in there and offset our cost, it's a slam dunk for us. We do have programs like Ballet Folklorico, which is a hit that generates quite a bit of revenue for us that um, we love to have. And so those are kind of programs we love. That it's high attendance, generates a lot of money for us, and um, it's a win-win for everyone. And then the second one, or the first question you had about how do we get our recruiting, on our miscellaneous side, we'll talk about that.
Okay.
But that's a good question though, Alex. Yeah.
An event that I thought was going to start at 4 started at 6. I have to run real quick.
Oh, no worries, Sarah.
Back.
Cool.
I'll be back in a few minutes.
Cool. Yeah. No worries, Sarah. It's all good.
Is there a Zoom or something option to like watch
Yes,
the parts
no-
that I miss?
Yes. So
Okay.
Norma will have that.
live now or tomorrow?
It's live now.
I'll watch it right now. And
Cool. Perfect. Thank you, Sarah.
Sorry.
No worries. It's all good. This is the first one, so we'll get everything figured out by the next one. I even sent you the Outlook invite. It's all good. No, appreciate it, Sarah. As far as the events go, we have challenged staff to create one community event a month, and they've done a really good, successful job with that. So the month of May, we've done Food Truck Fridays out at the sports complex on Morel Road. This Friday is the last one for the event. We will bring it back in 2025. We have had some inquiries on extending it. We talked a little bit about with staff today, and we are leaning towards not extending it just to keep the novelty of it. Kind of see that like with farmers markets, as you get closer throughout the year, you have less attendance because everyone's already gone multiple times. And so we want to keep the novelty of, you go through the month of May, and then, once we bring it back up again in April, we'll get that excitement going. Like, okay, I can't miss it this year because I need, or take advantage of it because it's going to be gone after 4 or 5 days. And so, yeah, this Friday will be the last one. We've had about 18 to 20 at most food vendors. And I think this past Friday there was a lot of people there. It's been a hit so far. I think every Friday it just grows, and I think Sammy could hopefully attest to that because we see her out there every time. So, but yeah, it's been a successful event. The vendors that are part of it, they've enjoyed it. We've gotten people from Modesto and all over Stanislaus County to come in. The feedback we get is a lot cleaner Grubhub, or you feel safer going there, and so that's kind of feedback that we love hearing. So, but
I've seen great comments from the community about the events.
Yeah, I've had nothing but really good feedback. I've really tried to engage with all of the vendors because I want them to feel comfortable and also get that feeling that they want to come back, especially to maybe hopefully apply for the wine and cheese. But a lot of the vendors have been really happy. They really like what we're doing. And it looks like, as far as the public, they love it. They wanted to come back. But a lot of people are like kind of sad that it's only for the month and hoping that it comes back sooner than hopefully next year. But it's definitely been a success.
yeah, one of the things I did not list on the report, we are working with a downtown business that wants to host a market downtown, like kind of years past, and so we're kind of hoping that we're partnering with them on this to where we can let some of our food vendors know, so they can be a part of that as well. So it kind of gives that little bit of us a break on hosting the event on Fridays, but also still keep that novelty if we have some of them go to this event in July. So we'll talk about that once we get through the end of the event list. Starting, or before I go on, any other comments on Food Truck Fridays? No? Okay. Starting in June, we'll start doing our movies in the park. Again, our goal is to do one event a month, but with summertime, with our programs, camps, we're the busiest. And so we're going to do kind of an easy event with movies in the park. It's easy for us to set up, take down, host, and facilitate. In years past, all of them, or the majority of them, have been held at Jacob Myers Park. We're going to hit the road and kind of visit, host movies at different parks throughout the town, just to bring it closer to different communities, but also highlight some of our parks here in town. So June 22nd, our first one will be at Silva Park. We're featuring the movie Soul in connection with the Juneteenth theme there. On July 13th, we'll be at Jacob Myers Park. We're showing The Guardian. And then on July 27th, we're going to go to Castleberg Park and show Matilda. And then there have been talks of potentially a fourth one, correct, or no?
Yeah, in the month of October, that will coincide with the haunted hayride.
Okay. And that would probably be most likely Jacob Myers at this time. Cool. Okay. So those are easy ones for us to kind of still host community events while we're super swamped and busy. Cheese and Wine Festival, the event will be held on October 12th, 2024. For those that aren't aware, the Parks and Recreation Department is in charge of the event this year. In years past, the city would contract it out to event planners, And I guess it's fair to say the city council, well, hasn't been pleased with the product that's been coming out with it, and so they've kind of asked this Parks and Recreation Department to oversee it this year and see if we can um, get something going there. There is Cheese and Wine can take its own whole meeting. There's a lot going on. Some of the big changes is the festival will be a 1 day event this year, not a 2 day. So it won't be that Saturday, Sunday that we're accustomed to. It'll just be that Saturday. Um, we are going to keep it downtown, so we'll start here on 2nd Street, and our goal is to go all the way down to 7th Street over towards the community center. We will kind of see the same things in years past with tons of vendors, food trucks, car show, live entertainment. We'll do wine tasting sessions at the community center that our tickets are available now. We're going to be doing a kids corner in front of the teen center, and then just other activities going on throughout the day. One thing we're doing new this year is in the evening, we're going to transform downtown into a 21 plus exclusive area where we'll do a sip and stroll with the downtown businesses. We'll do a beer garden here at the plaza. We're looking at doing different activities throughout the event that could generate revenue, like a wine and art. Again, live entertainment here downtown for that 21 plus age group. So yeah, during the day, it'll be family friendly. In the evening, will be more kind of age appropriate. Any questions on Cheese and Wine? I know this one's a very popular one amongst the community, so and there might be questions coming from social media or your neighbors about it. So anything that you guys have heard that we can maybe clear up or answer before we send you off. All good. Going to September, so we kind of went from August all the way to October. We're going back to September. We're going to do National Grandparents Day Breakfast. So we're going to do, grandparents can bring their grandchildren out to the community center, do a breakfast there. Then we're going to start hitting our more traditional events. In October, we'll do the Haunted Hayride. That'll be, again, a Friday, Saturday matter. Dia de los Muertos will be on in November here on 3rd Street, here downtown. And then our Christmas parade will be at the end of December. Then once that's all done, we'll start back up again with events in January, February, March. So if you guys have event ideas that you see in other communities that you think would be fun to do, or you just wake up in the middle of the night like, man, I have the best dream of this is going to be a fantastic event, let me know. Text me. Tony will probably attest to this. I hate saying no. We'll find ways to make things work. So if you have an event idea that's like out in left field, let's figure it out and how to make it reality if possible. But as mentioned before, we do have a downtown business that wants to host a kind of a downtown market. In years past, this has been done by other downtown businesses. Last year, the Parks and Recreation Department, we kind of took it on. But there was just a lot of, again, the summer's our busy time. We took that on kind of last second. So we were just, I should say, I wasn't even here. Staff was overwhelmed or had a lot going on their plate to where that's kind of why we transitioned to Food Truck Friday. It'd be prior to summer due to new location. So that was kind of in place of the market. But we did have a business downtown that's like, hey, we want to bring this back. We want to do this. And so what we said is, hey, we love to partner together in a way of we're not doing the day operation. We're not out there talking to vendors. We're not out there hustling. We're here to give you our expertise, help you with maybe the more permitting side to do the road closure. That's more on the city things to worry about if they take care of the day of operations. And so that's looks like it's moving forward. With that being said, they are charging money for vendors. We kind of view this partnership as a little bit unique of we don't really care about the revenue as much on this one because it's a win-win for us. We're providing an event to the community, and it's not costing us money to do so. One thing we did ask is that we have our name on the market, so it is the Riverbank market, and have our logo on it, so we kind of get credit for doing our help with giving the space, doing the road closure, giving our time and expertise to help give our input on what goes on there and make sure it's a high quality event from our perspective. And so and that's the trade-off there is the way they can make the money. So we'll tally this up as one of our events of the month because we are dedicating time towards it. So again, if you have neighbors or businesses that want to do events, we're more than happy to negotiate and figure things out to make sure it's a win-win situation. But any questions on events in general? That one will be starting in July after Independence Day. And they're looking at do it every Tuesday in the evening here on Santa Fe. So, any questions, comments? Nope. And this is easy. Here's make my life very good, easy here. As far as facilities go, community pool that will open this Saturday. Again, refer to the programs page of this report for more information on classes, programs. We do have a pool screen that goes around the perimeter of the pool that was installed. We also had an Eagle Scout with the Boy Scouts. They updated the landscaping in front of the pool, updated the irrigation there for their project. So if you drive by and you see a lot of dirt and a lot of things dug up, that's why. So hopefully here soon we'll get some plants planted, shrubs put in, and it'll look really nice out there. Jacob Myers Park, the season began beginning of April. We do charge $7 for residents and $10 for non-residents. This has been a thing that's been going on for years of charging at the gate. We do have feedback from residents on why do we charge entry into the park, and we collect tax dollars for the park. The park, I can't say 100%, but 90% of it's funded through these funds, through these fees. So people's tax dollars, the majority of it is not going towards this park. This past weekend, Memorial Day weekend, we brought about 200, just Memorial Day, we had about over 230 or 250 vehicles in the park. 225 of them are not from Riverbank. So 90% of those that attend the park, and we see this consistently on the weekends, are not Riverbank residents. And so our stance is your tax dollars, we want your tax dollars to be funding other people's fund. So the money that's generated from Jacob Myers Park, the majority of it is from non-residents that are funding the upkeep, the maintenance, new improvements to the park that are made. So if you guys, we do get this comment sometimes, and so if you do see it, why are they charging Jacob Myers? It's ridiculous. It's the majority of those that attend the park are not residents, and so it does help offset the tax burden on the residents for that park. So that's nice there. We did.
Is that something that we can openly share with residents?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yep. So this is open meeting. So that could be shared with residents on Facebook, or you could say, "Hey, look at the Zoom meeting," and or talk with Michael. A lot of things. I should say a lot of things. Everything we share in this meeting is open to the public.
Okay.
So nothing is disclosed or hidden away. So anything that's shared here, feel free to share to the world if you want to. So
I have a small question.
Yes.
For the charges, does that include for people going to the dog park?
no. So how we will be.
The reason I ask is I saw a comment and I didn't see anything else, so that's why I was curious.
Yeah.
because
So sorry, Alex.
someone was saying, "Oh, are they charging for the dog park as well?" And I kind of just left it as is.
Sorry. Yeah, so the fee schedule that's been set up in years past is this year. Since this is my first year with the park, we're not trying to shake everything up. So how they've done it is they charge on Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and on holidays. So this past weekend was Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday because of Memorial Day. 4th of July is on Thursday, so they'll charge that Thursday. Or is it Wednesday or Thursday? One of those days they'll charge there. And they charge $7 for residents, $10 to come in. If you are in a vehicle with a handicap placard, it's free parking. And if you are there to walk the trail or go to the dog park, it is also free, but you get a 1-hour pass that you put on your dash. And so if you've been parked, say you're going there for free and you park and you're there to enjoy the beach, and we have security go through and they see that pass 3 hours expired, they'll write you a citation there. So one of the things that we'll be looking at doing is starting in 2025, January 2025, I like to personally update our fee schedules every year. I prefer increasing our fees little by little each year than doing one massive increase every 5 years. We usually see more positive, or say we see less negative feedback if we do it little by little each year, and mainly to keep up with inflation. Um, and so, come this November, December, we will probably present to you guys a fee schedule of some of the proposed fees we're looking at. So that might impact the fees we charge at Jacob Myers. We may also consider adjusting fees to maybe charge for handicap parking or charge to use the dog park or the trail use, because those that do that, they use the facility as well. So those are fees that we'll continue talking about, and again, provide that recommendation to you, because once we go to, for all our fees, we go to City Council for their final approval. And so it does help when we go to them, say, hey, we do have Parks and Recreation Advisory Committee support on this. They voted on this. It kind of gives a little more backing there than the director and council's trying to appease the public. So those are things that we'll bring up in discussion. So if you do have thoughts on not only Jacob Myers fees, but any of the fees we do, we are more than happy to talk about that and get that discussed.
Really quick, is the fee schedule that was most recently voted on by City Council, has that been updated on the city website? I've looked for it. I couldn't find it because I wanted to address that. I did have that question in the group asking about that, so I wasn't sure if that's been uploaded because I couldn't find it, so I wasn't sure. My second question is the fee schedule voted on an annual basis by City Council, or is it on an as needed?
So for the first question, so I personally have not uploaded any fee schedule to the website. I'm not sure if that's a. Okay. So that's something that we can do. One thing I like to do, and um, it's our goals by 2025 or a little bit going into there, is all of our plans and everything we want to do, we want to make sure it's on our Parks and Recreation website. And so our entire fee schedule is 3 or 4 pages long, because we do, fees for summer camp, fees for this and that. And so the ones the council just recently approved was just for cheese and wine. So hopefully once we do it on an annual basis, it is everything there is all updated and we don't touch it again until the following year. As far as how often the city council approves their fee schedule, Norma may correct me on this. It is on a by needs basis, correct? Or is that on annual? The city council approving fees. When city council approves fees, do you know if it's on an annual basis or is it on an as needed basis? Mm-hmm. Yep. Mm-hmm. Okay. So, yeah, my personal take is I like to just keep current with the trends. Again, I've seen the most success in the small incremental increases, as opposed to, again, those giant big ones that catch people off guard. So again, if there's different philosophies on the committee, that could be discussed when we talk about the fee schedules. Again, we kind of will take that input into consideration and discuss that at those times. So another thing to think about as we get closer to that, get to that point. Again, we'll probably bring that up towards the back end of the 2024 year. And keep you guys in the loop on that. And then community input initiative. So one of the things we're looking at doing is updating or creating new master plans for all of our parks and recreation facilities beginning this year and going into 2025. All of our plans are either non-existent or they're really outdated. Kind of go back to the Jacob Myers one real quick here. Jacob Myers master plan was done in 2003. At that time, I was, I think, in 3rd grade, to give you kind of that perspective there. And so I think the most recent one was Silva Park, which was done in 2013, which was 10 years ago. Usually master plans, depending on who you talk to, they're updated about every 5 to 10 years. And the reason being is trends change, population of your community changes. Alex brought up before the meeting that 25,000 people here in Riverbank and plus, we're growing. Back in 2003, a lot of these residents that were not here did not have a say in what happened in Jacob Myers Park. And so, but now that they're here, we want to make sure we keep our plans up to date so that people can give new input, constant input, and that our plans are up to date. And so, with Jacob Myers being the biggest park we have, we're looking to update its master plan. So, we recently received a grant through the National Park Service, where they will not give us money, but they'll give us 240 hours of a professional landscape architect to help us with that plan. And so, what we're hoping to do here in 2024 is do a whole initiative of getting community input on all of our facilities. That will include surveys, hosting facility open houses to invite the public to each facility to discuss the issues in person of that facility or things they want to see. A lot of our parks are really small, that maybe be like a quarter acre or half acre, that there really isn't a whole lot more to do out there. But when you have big parks like Jacob Myers or Silva, where a lot can be done out there still, we want to get community input and kind of create big plans there. So our small parks may be a 2-page plan, 3-page plan. There's not a whole lot to add there, but our big ones will be a nice extensive planning there. So Jacob Myers will take all the help we can get on that one. So yeah, we did get that grant recently this past month. So we're aiming to have our surveys completed by 2024. We're hoping to get that out to the public here once I find time to do it. So that might be towards the end of summer, fall. We'll start posting stuff on our social media, city website of, hey, take our survey, give us input on so-and-so park, and we'll start opening those up one at a time. We don't want to do, okay, here's all 16 parks, take your surveys. No one's going to do all 16. But if we do one every other couple weeks, hopefully people won't be surveyed out by the end of it. On to the next page with our projects. We are working on a project to do a multi-use trail at Jacob Myers Park. This trail is 1.25 miles non-motorized, connecting the current trail going to Army Corps property, which is on the northwest side of it. The project requires significant environmental review work because it is near the levee, near the river. It has some protected species of plants out there. So we are working with an engineering firm to help us through this environmental review process. Once that's completed, we're going to seek some grant funding to help fund the construction and engineering of this trail. So this one's a to be determined. I've heard this project's been in the works for 20 plus years. So hopefully we can get this going.
I've heard about it as well.
Yeah, I think it's just a lot of turnover with the Army Corps of Engineers has turnover, and then the city has turnover, and it's just, everyone's going to come back to square one here. So we're hopefully on the right track here. LED lights at the city parks. So PG&E offers a financing program to transform lights in public spaces into LEDs. We're looking to applying for that at the tennis courts over by the middle school. That is a very small project. It kind of gets our feet wet with the financing program, and if it's an easy program, we see returns on it, we'll then kind of take the next step in applying to all of our parks there. So what they do essentially is PG&E finances the program for LEDs, and then the cost savings we see on the energy will still be billed the same amount on our utilities for the use, but the cost savings goes back to paying back for the labor and the material for the financing. So the program is within 10 years, that at most at 10 years it's all paid back, and then after that we're now seeing those cost savings on our end, and it is a 0% interest on that work. So it's not, they're loaning that money and then we're paying an interest rate on that. So that's one of the things we're looking at here. One other thing we're looking at is a cell tower at Castleberg Park. We have reached from a company reached out to us of wanting to install one, and so we're in negotiations with them on that. It would be attached to a current existing light pole. So if you've been to the sports complex, you'll see on one of the light poles there is some sort of weird antenna kind of thing there. That's a cell tower. The idea is it would generate revenue from the park, so the company would pay a monthly rent to have their space there, as well as have easement access to do maintenance on the tower itself when needed. So it's just an idea to generate revenue to go back into that park and help out. Castleberg Park is a park that is needing some love, And so it'd be nice to have some money to go into that.
That cell tower, is it going to be like camouflage, like like they do the ones with the trees or palm trees?
So this one currently negotiations is not talked about. Um, yeah, just because we're in negotiations, I'm not giving trying to get out too much. Um, but yeah, that's not really. I mean, it's something we could throw in there. But yeah, I would say the best reference is look if you drive by the sports complex. That's probably your best reference there. What it would
Perfect.
look like. Um, so yeah. So again, that's something that will be approved by council if we get to that point. And again, we're just in talks and negotiations. This has been going on since before my time too. Um, so it's nothing immediate that's coming up right now on the plate. Um, Fiscal year 24-25. So our the city's fiscal year starts every July 1st. So come July 1st, our budget kind of starts over and we have money to spend. So this time of year, we're kind of running out of money. So um, we have requested funds from the city general fund for some new projects, equipment, and materials for the new fiscal year. So we'll hear back here in the next few weeks on if those projects will be approved. We have asked for a ton of money for just different projects throughout, and so we'll see where we line up there. Once we get the approvals and know what's going on, we'll inform you on, hey, here's some of the projects that we'll be um, having for our Parks and Rec department. Um, on that note, one of the things that we're looking at doing as far as projects, we do have 16 parks here in the city of Riverbank. Many of those parks have some sort of taxing district to where the residents in that surrounding community they pay a little bit extra, and though that money goes to maintain the parks or help do some of the fixing work. Some of these older parks don't have that luxury, and so you look at Castleberg Park or the Community Center Park, Pioneer Park. Um, those parks are a little bit more run down because there isn't that extra financial help right there. And so one of the things we're looking at doing is trying to set up a trend of every fiscal year we're requesting a new improvement to each park that doesn't have that special funding. And so with these, the big one is these parks have playground systems that are nearing 20 years old. Playground structure usually lasts 15 to 20 years. So a lot of them are getting to that maturity date. If you've gone to Castlewood Park, it's missing a slide. Go to the community center park. There you can just see there's a lot of wear and tear happening. So hopefully the idea is we can get a new playground, replace these playgrounds to more modern, more newer play systems. The other cool thing too is these playgrounds are usually more low income communities, and the newer parks that we built are in the newer developments that are a little bit more um, non low income and so households. So we're hoping to get revitalize these new parks here or these older parks here. Um, and that also includes falling within our Parks and Recreation strategic plan, kind of guiding what we do as a department. And one of the things that is very costly about these parks is new parks that are coming in, they do not have wood chips. Um, it is technically by definition they are inclusive and accessible, but they are very hard to maneuver around. And so our standards have it to where new playground systems need to have turf or what's called pour in place rubber surfacing, which is a nice squishy rubber that it's all glued together, and so you could roll across, and it's very um, some kid falls, it's very bouncy and doesn't hopefully knock them too hard. The issue is it's very pricey. Um, we got a quote for one of our parks um, for the community center park, and just for the rubber surfing itself is about $200,000. And so um, it's
Goal, or is it required that we switch over to that with
so so they're kind of grandfathered in. But the goal is once we do improvements that we do put in a rubber surfacing. So new improvements to these older parks, we will go away from the wood chip system. Again, it's not the most inclusive, accessible. If you're looking at, when you look at surfacing, what they look at is, I can't remember the right terms, but when a kid falls, what's the most impact or the safest? usually your sand is one of the least safest. That's why you don't see as much sand playgrounds. Your concrete playgrounds, obviously. But this rubber surfacing, the turf is the more on the higher end of this is more safe right there. It's also less maintenance work. So every year we invest about $13,000 in replacing the wood chips or putting new wood chips in. So the idea is hopefully that even though the upfront cost is expensive over time, it's not costing us an annual maintenance care right there. That's too high. Um, so yeah, so the new parks that you see built, like the one in Crossroads West right now, it's turf, or the one over on the east side of the countryside, that one is turf as well. So these newer ones you'll see with rubber surfacing, or
My kids really enjoyed that one.
the countryside one.
Yes.
My little one loves it so much. Yeah, we drove by the Crossroads one the other day, the one that's fenced in, and my little one's like, "Green Park, let's go." I'm like, "No, no, we're going to wait." We look bad, someone's gonna take a picture of the parks director with his kid at the new park playing, and everyone's not allowed in. So, everyone will be the last ones to use it. But, so that's kind of our fiscal year there. So July 1st, we'll have tons of money, and then usually in June we see what kind of money we have left, and we kind of say, okay, with this much money we have left, we'll kind of splurge. Welcome back, Sarah. So, any questions there on projects? And again, if you guys have ideas for projects, let us know. We've had residents request ideas. We look into it. I'll give you a very easy one. We had one resident my first week here ask for trash cans at Silva Park that go around the perimeter. That's an easy one we can look into, and we did. We did that one already. There might be some where people say the famous one we've heard is a bridge connecting Jacob Myers Park across the river. That's a very expensive project that we can't do right now. But we'll take it and see what we can do. But that's something that can't be done overnight.
I've seen mixed reviews on that one.
Yeah.
Did you say, can you recommend one right now or no?
Whenever.
What about like a dog park? Turning one of the like parks that like maybe is less utilized right now into like a dog friendly component with like some lower fencing and things like that?
Yeah. So we can definitely do that. The city has one in Jacob Myers Park, but you had to go out of your way to get there. We have heard from a couple pet owners that have gone to that one and requested a little bit more. We have looked into it, so kind of give you a little bit more backup to when you weren't here, Sarah. No, I'm sorry, I'm just teasing you. One of our initiatives we want to do this year, 2024 going to 2025, is create a master plan or a plan for each of our facilities. Either all of our facilities either don't have a plan or it's outdated. Give you kind of reference, Jacob Myers Park, the last time it was updated was 2003. The most recent master plan we have in place is Silva Park, and that was 2013. So what goes into that, what starts off is getting community input. So hopefully this year we're going to get surveys out to the community to do online, in person, where they want to do it, and then host open houses at each park to allow neighbors to come in and kind of meet with us one-on-one and talk about those kinds of things. And so with that input, we kind of gather our expertise from our perception as staff, kind of mix and blend it together and produce a plan of what it's going to look like, how it's going to get funded, how are we going to do this, what's the maintenance of it. And so if there's requests for more pet facilities, kind of like dog park, those are things that can be requested in our surveys and our plans and that we can incorporate. So those are things that we're hoping to start doing here in 2024. Yeah. Yep, you're jumping the gun too.
Okay, I'm sorry.
No,
I'm late and early and jumping all. Oh, okay.
that's all good.
I just really didn't.
No, it's all good.
I'm so sorry.
No, it's
guys.
all good. Yeah, that's all good. So, on the last page on miscellaneous, this will talk about kind of things that I want to do as a department and things that we're kind of trying to form here. A lot of things I'm saying we'll try to get done here in 2024. Again, we're swamped and busy, so that's me being the most optimistic I can be. So we might see some things leaked in 2025. The first one we talked about in all of our interviews is a Department Policies and Procedures Manual. We currently don't have one in place. We're looking to get one in place so that it has items that are not addressed in city ordinances or policies. So there are things that are more very specific to what we do as Parks and Recreation that city code doesn't address. Examples include waiving of fees, naming of parks. What are fees? How do we go about refunds? Those small things, because what we do, what we've done in the past is we have a situation come up and we kind of just brainstorm as staff of what do we do in this situation, and then we kind of throw what the best option is, and we take it by case scenario. Um, Although being case by case adds a little bit more quality to that person that's receiving it, it does may present being unfair to others that may not get a benefit of the doubt. And so we want to make sure we're black and white. We're to say, hey, here's our policies. We're kind of tied to this. And we want to present that to you as a committee when we get that going is, here's what we suggest. Do you guys have any comments, feedback on things we need to change or update there? And once we get your approvals there, we'll take city council. So that from there, if we do come across situations, we know, hey, we're playing by the book. Okay. We would hate, and Tony can attest to this, I say this all the time, is whatever we do for one person, we must do for everyone. We cannot pick and choose what we do. So kind of go back to the contract classes. If we say, hey, we'll provide the marketing for free, we can't go back to someone and say, hey, we're going to charge you an extra higher percentage for marketing, or charge them more based on, the same kind of scope of work we're giving out. And so we want to make sure we're trying to be as fair and equitable to everyone involved. And so that's one of the things we'll try and create here in 2024. You'll probably see that in the fall and the winter once summer ends here, coming up to your plate. We're also looking at updating our forums and online presence in a way of the department currently operates in a hybrid way of when people want to reserve a facility or sign for a program, it's either done in person or online, but you can't do everything online and you can't do everything in person. So if you want to run a facility, you have to come in person, or if you want to sign up for classes, you have to go online. We're going to try to streamline all that to where you are able to do everything online, and then if you need help, we're available to help you out over the phone or in person.
How do you currently process that stuff right now? Like for online registrations?
Yeah, so we have a software called RecDesk, to where we put up our classes, swim classes that people can go see, sign up, pick the times, dates, see the cost, sign the waivers, do all that thing in person or online at home from their home. That's for our programs. If you want to rent a facility, I would say the big chunk of our facilities you have to come in person. The issue is our office time is from 7:30 to 5:30 Monday through Thursday, which is during your working schedule. So if you want to reserve a facility, you have to come during your lunchtime or leave work to come and reserve the facility. We want to change that to where, again, if you work late or have weird work schedules or not able to come in, when you're at home, you can do it from your home.
You guys have to use RecDesk because it's like a government approved thing?
We use it as a software because there's a lot of softwares that are targeted for Parks and Recreation. So we're open to any other software. This one is, again, designated for Parks and Recreation. So it's great for classes, facilities, memberships, all these different things.
Is there a reason you can't incorporate the facilities onto that one?
It's just, I think maybe someone correct me, it's just how things have been done in years past is it's always been done in person. And so, again, with the summer being busy, we don't have enough time to dedicate towards it. So one thing we've asked staff is starting August, we're going to start trying to build the website up so that by 2025, January 1st, we are going online. Again, we'll still be available to the public, so if people don't want to use the online, it requires you to create an account. So if there are people that don't want the government to have their information, they're more than happy to come in person and do all that.
No, you are the government.
So, yes, that's something we're trying to get going here. My thing is, why is it easier to rent a car than it is to reserve a pavilion at a park? It should not be that way. But yeah, we're looking to get that fully implemented in 2025. There are some facilities that you can do online, but we're gonna try to get everything on there. That includes community center, renting baseball field, sports complex, anything that we have. So, along with that, we're looking to create/update our internal plans and forms. This includes emergency action plans. So if we have a program that's outside and it's thunderstorms or lightning storms, and we have our part-time staff out there, they can refer to a binder of like, hey, what do I do here? So that way we're not required to be out there on site the whole time, and we're not getting phone calls on our downtime like, hey, there's a little bit of sprinkling rain. What do I do here? It's like, well, look at your binder. What do you do during sprinkling rain? You know. Also goes into like what happens if someone gets a concussion or get a cut, wound, how to go about that stuff. Program evaluations. We want to make sure we're evaluating all of our programs, and so that we can get feedback from those that participate and the parents, especially if it's involved with the youth. Program outlines. So the idea is if our staff gets hit by a bus tomorrow and we get new staff here, they can look at what's going on with the program and know what's going on instead of trying to wing it. So we want to create binders with outlines of like how the program is ran, why we do it, what you need. So that way, if new staff come in or volunteers, they can just reference that. Community program form. So this kind of goes back to Alex's question a while back on how the community can get involved if they want to do a contract class. We want to provide an application form to where if someone has an idea that they want to teach a class or do a new program and they want to be an instructor, help out with it, they can fill out a form, give us information so that we can reach out and kind of get that relationship going. Currently, right now is people just, if they have an idea, they reach out to us if they know the right channels, and we're there to help them out. But we're hoping to get that more streamlined and more well advertised, and kind of put that out there to where, hey, if you have an idea, here's a form. You don't have to call us or send us an email. Just fill it out, and we'll reach out to you from there. I do. I use Google Forms. Staff, we also use Microsoft stuff, Word, Excel, and all that kind of fun, the standard. We have looked at other softwares for stuff. Our current city website, it has functions to where you can kind of create templates that people can fill on the city website. But yeah, we're looking at, like when we do our surveys and looking at doing these things, we're looking at doing the Google version, or there are some softwares if we want to get fancy, like Qualtrics, that is dedicated towards gathering data like that. So it's nice, user-friendly gathering data. So that's kind of how we'll do a Google form, is answer these questions online. We'll get a notification that you completed it. We'll have your contact info, a little bit description of what you're looking at doing, and then we'll kind of reach out and say, hey, let's figure out what we can do there. Give you kind of an example. The city I was at before, we opened this to the public, and we had tons of inquiries. Some that were not within our mission, did not line up, but we had some that we thought were great. Like we had someone say they want to teach sourdough bread making class, and we contracted with them, and they sold out their class, the first class, and we did the revenue split there. We gave them a kitchen, a class to do it, and the class was just booming. And so those are things where it's like, hey, it's offering new things to the community that you don't see everywhere. Like you can't go to Modesto, you can't go to Oakdale or Turlock to do. It's very unique and niche. And so those are kind of things that we're looking at. Again, we're looking at programs that it's not going to be something we do, and next few months we're like, okay, yeah, we need to cancel this here. Also, along with that, with our contracts, I'm jumping ahead here myself. Next thing we're looking at doing is a sponsorship plan. So one thing we want to do is, for our events, we go ask for sponsorships, and we give like our spiel of, give us $500 and you get this in return. We want to do something for not just that, so we're not going to businesses every month of like, hey, here's a new event, give us money. Our goal is probably to go to them once a year and say, hey, here's everything we have going as Parks and Rec department. Do you just want to sponsor everything we do? And so
General fund.
Yep. So just one big general. So you're sponsoring all of our events, all of our programs, everything we do. So we're bugging you just once a year. And I'm sure it's not just us coming to you asking for money. It's every organization, every nonprofit's coming, the kids' baseball teams come asking for money. So hopefully we can just come once and say, hey, give us X amount of dollars, and we can do stuff like that. But yeah, we can tie that into facilities, new programs, new things. So if we want to say, hey, if you guys build a dog park, I'll chip in X amount of dollars. We can definitely look into something like that. In the community I just came from, we had a business that told us, hey, if you build a skate park, I'll donate lights. And we held them to that. So we got a skate park built, and we said, hey, we're going to get the lights built. So they install lighting for us. And so it's kind of that partnership there where it adds a higher quality to the facility. So those are things that we're definitely looking into and interested in.
There's enough like people and like business owners within our community that just like haven't really been tapped or like asked. Like I loved seeing the letter come through as a business owner in the mail a couple weeks ago for the wine and cheese, and I was like, yes, the beginning of a new day, because A, we got to see the information, but also that there was an opportunity to get involved early and just like, yes. And so I think that that would be a really good thing, like a small business, like game day or something where we invite all the business, and not even small business, because I mean we have Costco here now, we have Hot Works, we have lots of chain restaurants that could easily donate hundreds or thousands of dollars. I think that that would, and they just haven't been asked.
Yep.
You know.
No, that's the goal. We do have our repeated sponsors that we've gone to over and over again. It's like listed 10. But again, you can't go back to the cow so many times or go back to the well so many times.
Riverbank.
Exactly. So we're looking to grow and expand that. And then again, our scholarships, scholarship sand, but yeah, the typo there again. Scholarships and donations. Again, we do have businesses that want to donate to, again, a program for those that live in low income households. We're looking to kind of make that more official here. So we want to make sure we have clear forms. And then obviously if a business donates, they want some sort of form saying I think use as a write-off. And so we want to have that kind of listed there. So they give us their check, we give them that form and for their tax purposes. And so we'll get that all created. And then last, we're looking to review and update all of our current contracts. This department has multiple contracts that are been going on for years and years and years for users to use our facilities. The contracts haven't been looked at for a long time, or it's been so old that no one knows where they're at, and there is no contract essentially in place. We have facility users that are nonprofits that use the facilities for free, and then they become more of a burden on us because they ask us for our resources and time to help them out there. So we're looking to update all of our contracts with all of our users and to ensure that they're mutually beneficial. So it's beneficial for the groups that come in to use the facilities, but we're also getting a benefit from it. One of the things that I want to do is all of our contracts, we want to make sure they're 1-year contracts. So that way, if it is a bad relationship or if it's not working out, we can easily cut it there. And also gives the user as well, if they realize it's not working out, they're not stuck to. If there's a rent to it, they're not stuck to that. If they realize that they're not making money off the use of it, they can cut out soon as well. Also puts a little bit of fire to the feet of the user. Again, if we have like a 3-year contract, they can be duds for 3 years and we're stuck with them. Or, if it's a 1-year thing, it's like, hey, I gotta make sure I'm on my A game, or I'm not gonna be renewed. And so those are things we're looking at. We do have some contracts users have been going for 20 plus years that are draining our time, staff resources to accommodate. And it's always been brought up, this is how it's been back 20 years ago. Again, that was a while back. So we want to make sure we're updating our stuff. One of the things that we've looked into doing is, or I've experienced in, is if you're a nonprofit group, we're more than happy to let you use the facilities for free. However, we do need some service from your groups. So we've had, like, for example, Boy Scouts use our facilities for their meetings, but in turn they do service projects on the facility itself, like repainting the walls or doing some landscaping, picking up trash at the park, kind of benefit, again, from our staff time and money resources going into paying for that. So not saying that we're trying to be greedy here, but again, we're trying to, again, make sure that we're being mutually beneficial with the groups of, hey, we scratch your back, you scratch our back in a way there. So those are some things that we'll be looking at here in the coming months. With that being said, is there any questions, comments, thoughts? Again, go and ask jokes, rumors, anything. You guys are quiet today. Well, this is the first day, so. From there, from presentations, we'll go on to new business. Item 7.1, appoint a committee chairperson for the Parks and Recreation Advisory Committee. So mentioned in our bylaws, we do have a chairperson. That person will kind of lead the meetings here. So it's not just Michael reining it. We make sure it's committee driven. So we'll kind of turn over to you guys. Is there someone that would like to be the chairperson for this committee? Reminder, it's a 1-year commitment to this on the top of your term, so you're stuck for a year. Are any of you, 4 of you, eager to lead meetings? That was well planned. I would hate to give it to Seabree because she isn't here to voice her.
Sure.
Okay. With that being said, if you guys are okay with that, may I get a motion from someone from the committee?
My motion.
Read the bolded statement right there on 7.1. I motion to on the agenda. This part, yeah. So 7.1.
I motion to appoint a committee or to appoint a committee.
Yeah, appoint Sarah. Or sorry, not Sarah. Sammy Martinez.
I appoint. Right. I motion to appoint Sammy Martinez as chairperson for the Parks and Recreation Advisory Committee.
Is there a second? From
I motion.
Alex, second.
Yes.
Okay. All in favor? Aye. 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 Sammy?
Hi.
Perfect. Okay. Motion passes 4-0.
I wasn't here of like how
Nope.
to be on the council.
Nope, this is all brand new. Again, this is good practice. No one's here. So
the
it's good.
jargon.
It's good practice. Okay. Item 7.2, appoint a committee vice chairperson for the Parks and Recreation Advisory Committee. This person pretty much, if the chairperson's absent, kind of takes reign there. So Sammy, you're out of this one. But yeah, who wants to be vice? Alex, okay. Can I get a motion for Alex Rodriguez to be the vice chairperson for the Parks and Recreation Advisory Committee?
I motion to appoint Alex Rodriguez as the committee chairperson for the Parks and Recreation Advisory Committee.
Get a second? Okay, Sammy seconds. All in favor?
Aye.
Very quiet eye over there, Alex.
Like
Perfect. Okay. Item 7.3, assign committee members with staggering terms. So as I mentioned before, in our discussions, maybe Sarah wasn't here, the term for a committee member is 3 years. The idea is, though, after your 3 years, if all of you decide not to renew and bail out, we're not starting all over from scratch. So what we want to do is do staggering terms, so that way each year, 1 or 2 of you have the opportunity to renew or bow out. So that way, if both of you decide to leave the committee, we still have 3, which can be a quorum. And so what we're going to do is randomly draw. So I have 5 sticky notes in the cup. It is staggered where we'll have 2 3-year term, 2 3s, 2 2 years, and 1 1 year. So we have one sticky note with the number 1 on it, 1 with the number, or 2 with the number 2, 2 with the number 3. So with whatever one you pull, that is the amount of years you have until your term comes to an end, and you can either renew it to do another 3 years, or you can decide to opt out then. So once I get these bottom 2 out.
back your years.
Alex. And then whatever you don't pick, Sarah will give to Seabree. Okay. So Seabree got the 1, so should we do a 1-year term there? Who has 2s? So Sarah and Karina have 2, and then Alex and Sammy have the vice, the chair people. Look at that. Okay, so come is it April or May, or before then, we'll talk about you guys saying, hey, your terms are coming up. What would you like to do? Would you like to stay on for another 3 years, or is it time to, what's going on with your life? Are you busy? Do you want to do this? And that'd be a good opportunity for you to kind of fulfill your term if you want to step away there and fulfill your service that you've locked yourself into. Um, so can I get a motion to approve these assigning of committee member staggering terms as stated?
I motion to assign these members with staggering terms.
Second,
I second that.
all in favor?
Aye.
Perfect. That is all in favor. That's 4-0. Vote. Okay. And then item 7.4, select a recurring day and time for Parks and Recreation Advisory Committee meetings for each month. So as mentioned, we want to do this monthly. We want to set a set date and time that we can come back here. Usually that's could be like the second, no, not the second Tuesday, but like the first Tuesday of every month at 6 p.m. So that way when we let the public know, it's not just like random dates. We could say, hey, if you have something you want to talk about, just come to the meeting. It's every first so-and-so day of the month at this time. And that way it's just easy to let the public know and they can just keep an eye out for the agendas when we start releasing them. Glad we have Norma here because Norma does help out with the agendas for our committees, and city council. So if there is conflict that she can think of that I don't think it's on my head, she can hopefully interject and be like, that's a dumb idea, Michael. So is there a recurring day of the month that works best for you guys? Right now it's the last Wednesday of the month. So, I mean, if this works best, we can do that, but Memorial Day screwed everyone up, right?
Yeah, and literally we had the day off. I feel like Wednesday, yeah, because I was like, Thursdays like this doesn't work. So yeah, Wednesdays will be great.
Okay. Is there a particular Wednesday that works for you guys? The first, second, third, fourth?
I'm pretty open to whatever Wednesday. Is the time going to be 6 or 7?
Whatever you guys elect.
I kind of prefer earlier because I have to be up at 4 o'clock in the morning, so I try to get to bed earlier. Not when you work 4 10s.
Okay, that's a fact.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay. Every day's
But
more.
I mean, I'm okay as long as it's like if you guys want to do 6:30.
Yeah.
I can do.
I think
I mean, I would
6:30
be
would
fine
a
with
good-
6:30.
Yeah.
Third
For
Wednesday.
the third
of each
Wednesday
month?
of the month.
Just because I feel like the fourth Wednesday, like we're the last week of the month, we're usually getting crazy going into the first week of the month. So,
The third week of each month.
so like in June, we're looking at the 19th.
That's so that yeah, we're gonna be closed that day because that's a federal holiday.
Which we can postpone and go and be back again in July. We can do that, or
Can't start off by canceling.
I would rather have a meeting, but a different day.
Or we are.
Why don't we do like the 8th? Oh, I'm deleting things from my calendar. Why don't we do the 18th?
That's city council, right?
See,
Second and fourth.
second and fourth. Yeah.
That's okay.
So, 18th. Norma, is there anything I'm missing that you see could be wrong with the third Wednesday of the month? Do you remember when the Friends of Jacob Myers meet? Is it the third? What's Planning Commission? That's Tuesdays, right?
It's Wednesdays usually.
Planning Commission is the third Tuesday of the month.
Yeah.
First Tuesday of the month, then every Tuesday in the month would be some kind of meeting, committee, planning.
Monday through Thursday for your 410s, or is it switch?
No, I'm Tuesday through Friday. I work
was gonna
Tuesday.
say- I
Every
was gonna
Monday I'm
say-
off.
Oh, okay, because I was going to suggest then Thursday if that worked better for you.
Oh, I work Tuesday through Friday. Yeah.
So are we going back to 6:30 p.m. on the third Wednesday of the month as the normal schedule, and then
Yeah.
June is
What? Yeah.
changed up?
Yeah. If that, I would like to keep June because I feel like
I agree.
start like failing.
So then can I get a motion from the committee on selecting every third Wednesday of the month at 6:30 p.m. to be the regular scheduled meeting time and day for Parks and Recreation Advisory Committee?
I motion that we have the third Wednesday of every month at 6:30 p.m. to be the reoccurring day and time for Parks and Recreation Advisory Committee to meet each month.
Second, all in favor? Perfect. Okay. With that being said, we'll plan on June 18th to be the next meeting. And so if, yep, it's 6:30. So if you have anything you want me to put in the agenda to talk about, you have until a little bit before then because I got to make it public. Yep. So I would say, I know it's way before, but June 13th, let's do that so I can make sure everything's up to date and out to the public then. So June 13th, if there's anything particular you want to chat about, bring it to discussion here. Let me know so we can put that on the agenda.
Would like to discuss outdated contracts that we have no clue about,
Okay,
that are lost.
perfect.
That's something we need to address as a committee.
Okay.
It's beneficial for the city.
Okay. Are you looking at just talking about that in general or having that as a discussion or
Have a discussion.
discussion?
About it.
Cool. Okay.
Is that something city council has addressed in the past, like year?
So,
Since-
oh, sorry, Sammy.
Oh no, because I know that you haven't been here quite a year, so I wasn't sure if you knew of that, if that was something that had been addressed by city council like within the past few years.
So usually our contracts don't get to that level of city council. It's done internally in the department up to the Parks and Recreation Director's discretion to sign off. We don't make it to that quite level. However, how they're formed, how often they're reviewed, again, that's internal.
Okay.
So it's more of those internal procedures that when we talk about like a policy procedures manual, we can make sure we have it in there. It's like, hey, all contracts can be reviewed annually, biannually. And so having that kind of discussion of, hey, let's figure out what those lost contracts are, or let's update them. What do we want? What are some updates we want to do? So before we get to that policy procedures manual, when we start addressing these contract issues, we kind of have guidance from the committee on, what are some things we should be looking for there. So that's something that we can talk about and bring up. So if you guys want to, between now and next meeting, think of things that, you would like to see done. We can also send out copies of our current contracts so you guys see how they're formatted, what we include, and you guys can have your 2 cents there of like, hey, this needs to be changed up here, or your thoughts there, or explain like why do you guys have like this, and we can kind of give you our perspective on what's going on there. So we can definitely send you out a copy of some of our current contracts, and you can kind of see kind of how we go that way.
How many people or how many different contracts would you say that Parks and Recreation deals with in any 1 year?
Send that to Tony.
Yeah, so you're kind of like asking just like in general.
Yeah.
So we have all of our facility contracts, and then we have all of our like independent contractors that do like our classes. So if I had to, off the top of my head, maybe around 25
Okay.
ish.
So not
something
like
there.
300.
No.
And like when we're talking lost, we're like, okay, we just need to renegotiate some terms.
Correct, and kind of like what Michael was saying, just kind of setting up a standard,
DocuSign going.
pretty much across the board for everything.
Okay, I guess while we're on this topic here, is there anything else you guys want to throw on the next month's agenda?
I really would like for us to kind of get a touch on cheese and wine, or wine and cheese. The reason being is because I know this is like a make or break event.
Mhm.
And I really would like for us to be like really on board and involved, and really be able to help, Parks and Rec with it to make sure that it's successful so that it can continue.
Is there anything specific you would like to have addressed in that meeting? Because we did a presentation a month or two ago at City Council. We could definitely bring that presentation back in and inform the.
Maybe just if anything had been, because I did watch it, but if there's anything that's been changed or updated, I did get a suggestion from someone from the community. So I'm just kind of wondering if that is something that you guys already are talking about, or what's been discussed since that presentation. There was a suggestion to do like I guess, Little Miss Riverbank or Mr. Riverbank, like type of.
Vibe. A commitment, but a vibe.
Yes, yeah. So, and I mean, with that being said, I know that there's a lot of activities you guys already have planned that day, and if that's something that can even be fit into the schedule.
Yeah, we
So-
can definitely do that. However, kind of set this preface. We're a staff of 3 or 4 that are running around.
Correct.
So one thing we've done is if we have community members that are passionate about something, we're more than happy to bring them to the fold and they can oversee that aspect of it. Give you an example, we have a nonprofit group that reached out and said, hey, we want to do this aspect of the event. It's kind of like Mexican bingo. They want to do that. I'm like, perfect. We'll advertise. We'll throw that on our thing. We'll tell you people what time, where to be, how much. We're not going to touch that. We're going to trust you and your group to run that part of it. So it just adds that more quality event that we don't have to make sure we're dedicating time to do.
Okay.
And so if somebody wants to do a Little Miss Riverbank or Mr. Riverbank, what we like to see, and I think we mentioned this, our community members, we don't want people that just throw out ideas and just sit on the sidelines. We want people to throw out ideas and willing to step up and act. And so if there's someone that wants to throw out that idea, it's like, hey, I have experience in these pageants or know how to do this. And it's like, okay, well, let's work together. How much can you help us? Can you recruit volunteers to kind of oversee this aspect? And we can kind of incorporate that into our advertising, the website, and all that kind of stuff. So those are
Yeah, this was more of like, with the thought of having it, but also gaining sponsorship to be able to do that. So yeah, if that's something that we can discuss, like what's going on with the wine and cheese.
perfect. Yeah.
I know that like Manteca Watermelon Festival is happening this weekend. It's like a 2-day, 300 plus vendor event. Is anyone like attending that at all or?
Currently, our staff is not. We have had sent staff out to more wine events like the Lodi Wine Festival.
Yeah.
We sent staff out to that. We've had staff go to like the Odell Wine Taste or Sip and Strolls. And so we have staff going out to these more folks on wine and cheese. Internally, we have staff that have experience with event planning. The city I came from, we had a event that brought in 25,000 people in a 2-day event. So we're more than happy to go to these events. And we actually have a staff member named Jeanette who actually attends all these events and recruits vendors.
There we go.
She's gone out with the hard copies of the applications and dropped them
what-
off with her business cards.
That's what I was thinking because I feel like the watermelon, like the Manteca Chamber, has done an extremely good job over the years, and they have a youth like program there too. And I feel like they're kind of like a growing city as well. So I think that that's like a nice copy and paste kind of a vibe because again, it's in their downtown area. Like it's very similar, and I think. So yes to that, and like going out and reaching out to like all of. Is there any print things that like say if someone was going out there could drop off to different booths?
We could definitely do. So if any of you guys are planning on heading out there, we can definitely get something for you. Okay. Cool. Are you looking for just vendor information? Like, hey, if you want to be a vendor, reach out here.
Yeah, like
Cool.
hey, like vendor information or like a one pager of like, hey, this is what the booth fee is this year.
Cool.
Like, come do that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and I do a lot of, I'm a vendor to a lot of these events. And so the only thing with being a vendor is sometimes a lot of times in like your contract, it says you cannot be passing out any type of marketing or pamphlets to other events. Yeah. So, I mean, if you're a vendor, but if you're just,
Attending.
attending.
And sorry, the other. Can I ask another question?
Yeah, go ahead.
Um, the downtown Tuesdays in June situation. Have you heard anything more on that at all?
Yeah, you were gone for that.
Oh, perfect.
No.
Sorry.
No, yeah. So we've worked with Erica. She's with Our Roots. We're partnering with her on doing the market downtown on Tuesday, starting July after Independence Day. So we told her that we'll help her out kind of on the back end side of, the road closures, getting the permits, and doing that kind of stuff. If she can kind of handle the day-to-day stuff of like dealing with the vendors, entertainment, anything that happens on the day of the event. With that being said, as part of our partnership, we mentioned we were not interested in receiving any of the revenues. What we're interested in though is having kind of, hey, this is a City of Riverbank
Partnership.
event, kind of thing. So we have our logo on the flyer, and the event is called the Riverbank Market. So it's kind of like, it's not like Our Roots Market or the Collective Market, that kind of
Yeah.
thing. So
Yeah.
so that's kind of our trade off there. Is we'll kind of do like the league or the government side of things to get you to shut down the street. And the other thing too is we'll have access to our staff. So if you need to learn more about how to, if you have food vendors and how to get the right permitting through the county, we can give you that, kind of help you out there through that permit process. So we kind of there as an assistance there. And talking head moment.
And
I have a face for radio,
direct.
Sarah.
That's perfect. We can put like audio over it.
I could do audio, but don't put my face anywhere near that.
Oh
but,
my gosh.
As you know, I talk fast, so I mean, it might not be the best.
Well, good, because
But-
social media, you get 6 seconds.
I'll say Tony's probably best for that one. So
Talk very slow.
Perfect. We can do that. We can speed it up. But that way, it looks like it's a real partnership between like the city, like to get that buy-in too.
Yep.
And that way, it'd be something to post on your guys' social media that isn't just an infographic.
definitely we would be up for that. So we kind of tie that in with Erica. We said, hey, you kind of deal with the marketing. If you give us some flyers or whatever you want to post on social media, we're more than happy to do so.
Okay.
But we don't want you creating flyers or doing advertising. We're doing our own thing. We'll make sure it's all the same. I steal your word, vibe. So you want to make sure it's all in line. So we kind of turn that on Erica to kind of
That's
lead the way
perfect.
there, and then we'll kind of whatever she sends our way, we'll share, post, and spread the word. So. We have 3.
So there's actually one more.
Oh,
Because Freddy the Fish, I guess, is an honorable mention. So it's Freddy the Fish, Downtown Dog, and Ricky the Raccoon.
they all have like full garb.
They do. Yeah, they're like suits that usually we put our staff in for like events and stuff like that.
Also, like 100% cruising the streets at Wine and Cheese.
Yeah, we've had the mascots before at Cheese and Wine kind of go and take pictures of the kids and the family, which is it's a lot of fun. Yeah.
We also have an Easter Bunny costume too. So if you want to.
City mascots, on the other hand, those are normal. A raccoon.
We do have stuff for that. But again, if we want to change up mascots, we can look into that too.
No, keep what you got. Just bring it back out. Introduce it. Put them on. Make them dance on the internet.
Anyway, anything else you guys would like to see on next month's agenda? Anything